Marjorie Taylor Greene says it's time to ditch the Federal Reserve and bring back the gold standard. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene called for America to return to the gold standard and reject the Federal Reserve Central Bank digital currency that is set to be unveiled this summer. The Georgia Congresswoman said she would take a hard pass on the Biden administration upcoming CBDC payment system called FedNow, which would effectively control how people spend their money. She said we should go back to the gold standard, not digital currency payment system. Hard pass, she tweeted on Wednesday. InfoWars reports, though the Fed had been planning some form of CDC over the last several years, the privately held banking consortium announced Wednesday it would release its digital currency in July in response to the ongoing banking crisis and numerous nations pulling away from the US dollar. From CNBC, they said, with the launch drawing near, we urge financial institutions and their industry partners to move full steam ahead with preparations to join the FedNow service. This is what Ken Montgomery, Program Executive and First Vice President of the Boston Fed, which helped spearhead the project under former Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren. Institutions that participate in the program will have 7-day, 24-hour access, as opposed to a system currently in place that closes on weekends. CNBC then touted the utility of the Fed CBDC, claiming that it would be much easier for the Fed in the future to infuse newly printed dollars into the bank accounts of Americans, similar to how they received helicopter money during the COVID pandemic. CNBC reported, program advocates say it will get money out to people much more quickly. For instance, they said the government payments like those issued in the early days of the COVID pandemic would have been credited to accounts immediately rather than days it took to reach such people. That Fed program saw $7 trillion new dollars injected into America's money supply, which resulted in historic and sustained inflation since 2021. In other words, the Fed is presenting a solution to a problem that originally started. A CBDC tied to digital ID and social credit score will allow the government to freeze your assets or limit your spending to approved vendors if you fail to comply with arbitrary diktats, for example, vaccine mandates, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tweeted in response to the Fed's announcement. Former President Richard Nixon took America off the gold standard in 1971, which brought an end to the Bretton Woods system and transformed the international monetary system into a fiat system. And this is by Sean Adelton with Tobias News Punch. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.